as an optimization, take all the distant scenery, so surrounding rocks, perhaps the top part of the roof, things far away and that don't really matter. And so on, and turn off accept dynamic lights on all of them. You would do the same on the other side, etc., but I'm gonna stick to this to keep up the pace. Also, there's another property here, accept dynamic shadow. And you can see, even on the meshes that have accept dynamic lights off, you get these artifacts. These lines. And those lines are caused by the dominant directional light cascaded shadow maps. So this is creating those lines. And it's on these meshes, it's not that obvious, especially with the texture enabled and all that. You can't really see it, but there are cases where it's very, very obvious. For example, on large, bright skyscrapers, those kind of things, you would really see this. So what I tend to do is turn off cast dynamic shadow on surrounding distant scenery meshes. That will give you a small performance improvement as well. So again, select everything nearby. Everything you can't directly get to. So this rock I'm going to leave alone. But for example, that one, I'm going to turn it off. That as well. Then there's some more properties to address. First of all, lamps, or let's see the lamp in light here, should not be casting a shadow. So you should take away cast shadow on lamps, because it would be weird if a lamp like this would cast a shadow. So I'm going to right click this, select all matching static meshes of this class, and take away cast shadow on all of those. Likewise with these lamps over here. The other types of lamps you can leave be. These don't really matter because they only cast lighting in a single direction anyway, so they can retain their cast shadow. There's another property over here. This roof has that problem, for example. It has cast shadow as two-sided off, and that's bad because it doesn't have a roof. There's nothing above it. See, if I duplicate that mesh for a moment and move it up in clear space, you can see it from below, but there's no polygons covering the top, so the light would pass straight through this. When lightning is confronted with a situation like this, it will go through. This will not cast a shadow. And to counter that, there is a property, cast shadow as two-sided. If you enable that, the lighting will be blocked by this side of the polygon. The level in general here is quite blocked in. You can see there's not many leaks here, there's not many places where the lighting can leak in. It's a bit of a place over here. So this mesh also can only be seen from this side. So the lightning might be able to go through here and leak into the space over here. So for meshes like those, and I'm simply going to select all the matching ones, enable cast shadow as two-sided. Likewise for these two roofs. Also, in order to reduce the amount of light maps that the level takes, you should reduce the light map size of distant objects. So again, with everything that's surrounding the scene, to do it properly, you have to select all of this. I'm only going to select a portion of it right now to speed it up a bit, but select everything that's floating around the level, like so. And then override the light map resolution. So enable override light map resolution, and then set override light map resolution. It's 64 default, that's actually quite okay. You could leave it at 64 or perhaps go to 32 even. It should be a power of 2. 32 or 64. Because the rocks right now, per default, they have a resolution of 256. So if you scale down distant rocks to 64, you're not going to notice the difference, but you will save quite a bit of light map space. So select the meshes and enable override light map resolution, and then set the resolution, but the default 64 works pretty well. You should also do this on BSP surfaces. So if you hide all the meshes with Alt W or via this menu over here, show static meshes somewhere in here, there, you can hide all the meshes and only see the brushes. And then what you shouldn't have is you shouldn't have lightning on the sides here. So I'm going to select surfaces, matching texture, so it selects everything with default texture. Press F5 and take away those flags, and to be absolutely safe, set this to 16,384, which is pretty much the biggest size, so it doesn't take away any memory. And then what you could do, you don't have to do it, but you could raise the light map detail on the floor here, the part that you can see. You could raise it to 8 or 16, for example. I'm going to leave it be on 32 because it's fine as it is. And we have the sun casting a dynamic shadow anyway, so it's already more than sharp enough.